Okay, boom. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Flip Thought Show. It's your host with the most, King Truth, Hosenberg, Benny Bo, the one with the word, the one with the flow. And we coming to you live, man, at 5:42. And we got a new interview for you, man. We got Bobby Ye up in the house, man. Shout out to Watts up in here, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Watts, shout out to the PJs, man. You know what I'm saying? All love, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Just for an icebreaker, bro, about how long have you been on this content creation journey?
Consistently since the later year of 2023 is when I really got into making content. It was an individual who had made a controversial video with a false narration of a situation that had played out at Imperial Course housing projects in like 1981. The individual that I'm speaking of is a brother named BJ from Bonnie Hunters, aka Nino Cappuccino. He went on Adam 22's platform, No Jumper, and he said that his homies that came into Imperial Course housing projects and did a massacre, but it was a false narrative. So I had to come on and refute that, and it just started picking up traction. So I wasn't very consistent because I had lost my son in August 2023. So it was a struggle.
My condolences, rest in paradise.
And I appreciate that, King. It was a struggle just to maintain my sanity, so I couldn't constantly upload when I was trying to navigate through my grieving process and whatnot. So 2023 I really exploded on the scene. I say last year is when I became a little bit more consistent and started making regular content. You know what I mean?
Okay, and this is the thing that I say that you're a lot more different than other content creators out of the YouTube streets, out of the YouTube space, is if you do touch on something negative, you try to put it out there in such a positive message, bro. You're not trying to influence people to, you know what I'm saying, like be cool with what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not glorifying it at all, bro. Everything that I've seen of your content is always a positive message. Yeah, you might have your little back and forth. Everybody's gonna have that. You're a man at the end of the day, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get disrespected at the end of the day. So but other than that, that's all I've seen is just a positive message out of your platform, bro. Just a lot of just basically, trying to help the youth, man. Like stay up out these streets, bro. That big homie stuff is a facade, bro. If he's not gonna help you get your credit right or get you into some real estate properties or really get you going right, bro, he's not somebody that you should be taking orders from. Just to let you, that's just my opinion, bro.
Right. I mean, how could some of these youngsters take advice from some of these grown folks that they are more savvy than, that they are more intelligent than? It makes no sense. But we have created this falsified culture of the big homies is this and the big homies is that, but a lot of the big homies are unfit to be fathers, unfit to be role models, unfit to be mentors, and a lot of these youngsters is going to start having to move into a position of leadership so that they can move the culture forward, independent of the stereotype that the big homies got to have this certain level of authority and so on and so forth, influence and this and that.
No, that's real, bro. Like, and I think this also too, I'll add this to that. A lot of the big homies want you to do dirt that they don't do. They're too scared to do it, so they gonna have the little homie do it when they know the little homie's 15, 16 about to throw their whole life away.
I agree. I totally agree with you. But that's part of that vicious cycle that we have to work towards rectifying. We have to create that. We have been putting in work and doing dirt for too long. It's not advantageous to us. A person can't name one positive thing that he has obtained from putting in work and thugging in the streets. Is always rooted in some type of grief. It's always rooted in some form of mental health, whether it's the streets turning you into a sociopath, a psychopath, or giving you PTSD. You know what I mean? It's nothing that's positive that it came from that game and that way of living.
I really wish that I had, because I didn't really have a father figure in my life like that, so I turned to the homies, and I turned to the set for basically all the knowledge, that I gained out of that. And it really, looking back, it's like I wish I had somebody like me that's trying to because right now what I'm doing is I'm putting all the little homies that are under me. I'm trying to get them artist development, really get their music out there and have them really get out the streets, bro. Showing them how to do entrepreneurship, showing them how to sell solar, be a salesman, different trades. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have had that. Bro, because I swear I wouldn't have wasted a lot of my life like I did. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it like that, bro, but that's really what it comes down to. If I would have had that guidance in that actual game, instead of just getting told, hey, go hit this, go hit this, or go grab this, or go run down on a sucker, go do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I would have had, hey, you know, sign up for this loan program, they're gonna show you how to do real estate and get your own property, or hey, this person's gonna help you with your credit, or whatever it may be, you know. I didn't have that.
I mean, I too used to have those same sentiments. And through my extensive studies, I came upon a saying that says, hard times create good men, easy times create weak men, and weak men create hard times for others. You know, if we were in game banging terminology, if we did have somebody to hold our hands through our Crip and our Damon, whichever you are, you know, I'm affiliated with the PJ Wash Crips.
Yeah, I'm affiliated with Skyline Eastern District of San Diego, Southeast.
Oh yeah, for sure, up, man. Shout out to all my partners from Skyline, man. Bangaroo, G Red, and all the brothers that was in the California.
Shout out to all my G homies. Shout out to all my G homies.
Yeah, most definitely, man. But if we did have somebody to kind of like guide us through our hardships and challenges, then we wouldn't be the individuals that we are right now today, to where we're going back into the community with a different narrative and trying to create something else. Maybe if we were pampered or sheltered, or, you know, given the, you know, the game at a younger age before we had to bump our heads a few times, maybe we wouldn't even be inclined to go back into the streets to give a hand back to the young homies. It's through those adversities and bumping our heads that we became empathetic and said, what I went through, I can't let my little homies go through. So we have to go through it.
That's real. That's real. It's almost like, you know, it goes back to like trials and tribulations, you know, the experiences that you had. So you could tell the younger homie, hey, you don't want to go through this, bro. You don't want to go through that pain. You don't want to have all this time wasted that you could have been doing other productive things.
Right. I agree 100%.
Okay, so boom. What's something that your goal is for your platform, bro? Like, what's your main goal? Like, what do you want to get out?
To reach people, to inspire people, to get people to do more introspecting and less inspecting. You know what I mean? In the Bible, it says, before you tell your brother that it's a plank in his eye, make sure you take the plank out of your eye. And just, you know, getting people that come from these destitute communities who suffer from PTSD like I do, and a few other mental health disorders like I do, who come from I didn't come from a single mother home, you feel what I'm saying? Because I didn't have my mother nor my father. My paternal aunt had raised me. But the trauma that we experience and we endure in these communities, just getting to a point to where we can motivate people to seek healing, whether it's counseling or aromatherapy, aquatic therapy, and learn how to build, you know, relationships that's conducive with your growth and your success. Just trying to motivate people and be of assistance for people to navigate through their challenges and hard times.
Okay, no, that's that's dope right there, bro. I like to hear that. I like to hear that. I like to see that. You know what I'm saying? Is there anybody out of your community right now that, you know, you're trying to help, you know, kind of get out of that?
Oh yeah, man. It's a lot of individuals who tap in and seek wise counsel from me when they're navigating through challenges and whatnot. I was just on the phone with one of my folks, and he's this close to reoccurring in his addiction. So I had to share with him my testimony on tactics that I use. But you have to let people know, just because this practice worked for me,
it might not work for you.
It may not work for you. So you got to find your niche. You got to find what keeps you rooted and keep you grounded. You know what I mean? When I stopped doing pot of cocaine over 16 years ago, I didn't have to go to rehab. Some people need that additional help. All I needed to know is I don't want to repeat the cycle that my father, who's a heroin addict, and my mother, who's a crack addict, the cycle that they created for me and my siblings. You feel what I'm saying? But I had to share with my partner about, you know, just overcoming the temptation. And sometimes when you overcome the temptation, that's not enough, because temptation can start working on you in a way till you start questioning yourself. I always smoke coke when I'm upset. I always run a coke when I'm feeling down, depressed, and so on and so forth. So you got to substitute that with some type of positive outlet. That just works for me. That may not work for everybody, but I'm just sharing my testimony.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real. I would say, like, for one of my tips to anybody, you know, that's going through addiction like that, is maybe transfer that addiction over to like an adrenaline addiction, where, you know, you just program all the time, bro. Just keep working out. You know what I'm saying? It's going to give you still that rush. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's not going to work for everybody. Like you just said, that might work for some people, but not other people, you know? And Go ahead. No,
Forgive
go
me.
ahead.
No, forgive me.
Basically, like you said, a lot of people are dealing with it a little bit more stronger, and they have something called an addictive personality. If you have an addictive personality, it's very hard to get off any drug or
Right,
any addiction. It could be coffee, it could be energy drinks, it could be
right,
anything. No, go
right.
ahead. Go ahead. What you was gonna say?
What I was going to say, a lot of people really don't have the discipline to
That part.
go and work out and just buff out. They don't have the discipline. If they had that type of self mastery or self discipline, then they wouldn't be reoccurring in their addiction. So it's other tactics that we have to incorporate that can, basically substitute that pursuit of, that relief. Because a lot of people get high, man, because they're looking for some type of escape or some type of
Mm-hmm.
relief. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, but we just gotta work with our folks and just converse with them and start seeing if we can pick up patterns. Well, every time you call me and you want to get high, man, it's because your old lady didn't left for a few days. So now we got to try to, correct that, because that's the catalyst right there. She leave, you become emotionally distraught, and in a way that you want to deal with the cortisol production in your body, you want to run and get high. We need to explore some things. One thing I
Mm-hmm.
never do is tell a person to leave their woman or leave their man. I don't get in relationships like that, but I can give you some wise counsel on steps that you can take to see if it is the best relationship for you. But you ultimately have to make that decision on your own.
I'm gonna say this, bro. I feel like all rocky relationships, those are the real ones, bro, because those are the ones that are gonna stay down. You might be through everything for that with that person. That might be your baby mother. Then you might, not be together anymore, but you still got your kids. You know what I'm saying? But then it's always that person that's got, some place in your heart, bro. There's because you've been through so much with that person. You know what I'm saying? That you guys created that bond. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the relationships that are always good all the time, those aren't going to last like that. But that's just my opinion, because I feel like you have to go through troubles to figure out, oh, is this somebody I really want to be with for the rest of my life, or somebody I really love that's going to really, be there when I'm down? Same thing, vice versa. I'm going to be there when you're down. You know what I'm saying? But if it's not that way, the other way around, you know what I'm saying? Why, if you know what I'm saying, like basically,
No, I
why
feel you.
put all your time and effort into that and investing into somebody if they don't feel the same way about you?
So what I'm gathering is you saying that a relationship has to go through some type of turbulence
Yeah,
to make sure that it's actually real, that you have to go
yeah,
through rough patches and whatnot
that
to
part.
make sure that both people is equally invested.
Yeah, that part.
You don't think love can be harmonious? You don't think love can be mellifluous? You don't think that it can be without turbulence? You don't think you can meet an amazing woman who compliments you, get to know you, speak to the king inside of you, and y'all don't have no rough patches outside the house?
I mean, no, I mean, I can't sit there and say that I haven't seen somebody have a relationship like that, where they didn't have any type of, rocky path or any type of roller coaster ride, and they're completely fine. They've been together for 10, 12 years, whatever it is. I mean, there is certain people like that, but I'm saying the majority of what you see
Mhm.
is more of a rocky relationship and them staying together for years on top of years.
And what do you think would be some of the challenges or the rocky moments in a relationship? Would it be like cheating? Would it be financial issues? Like, what would be some of those rocky points?
So basically, her not so either him or her not feeling like that person is really for them, because all they're doing is, all they could tell you is dreams, basically, like, hey, we're gonna do this, but now it's 6 years later, we still haven't gotten a new house, we're still at the same place we're at, like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
If you're
right,
not giving me that game to elevate, I don't know why you're around me. And that's the
right.
same way that my wife looks at me like that, bro. We've almost together for 8 years. We got 3 kids, and I'm happy to say that she's a solid one. You know what I'm
God bless
saying? And
you.
we
Right,
we never,
right.
yeah, for sure. We never went through like no cheating rocky past, but we went through that, hey, let's not be together for a little bit, let's take a break. And then, we always came back together or whatever. But basically, as we had our little times where we butt heads and all that stuff,
Mhm.
but basically it never got to the point where we just said, hey, nah, we're just not meant for each other type of thing. Somehow we
Right,
always came back, you know what I'm saying?
right.
So
Righteous. A lot of people in relationships, they when I was facilitating relationship groups and whatnot, we had this thing. It was called decide, don't slide. A lot of people slide into relationships without knowing the intricate parts of their partner. You know what I mean? Like, just say
yeah,
from a guy's perspective, You meet this female, she bad, she's beautiful. You feel what I'm saying? The sex is cool, and you
Yeah.
know, she cook you food, let you watch the game, rub your feet, all this, right?
Yeah. Sure.
You know, she let you slide up in it, you slide up in it, and the next thing you know, she telling you, baby, I want you to move in, and you move in. You just slid into a relationship instead of deciding into that relationship. And just to go a little further, you never really asked her about her family history. They can have a history of schizophrenia, mental
Mm-hmm.
health disorder. You never asked her was she's a actual assault victim, put an S in front of the E. Ask
Yeah.
her if she's
I hear you.
a actual
Mm-hmm.
assault
Yeah.
victim, because a lot of women who are products of that, they are promiscuous. And if you're not there to give them a certain level of affection, attention, so on and so
They're gonna
forth,
find it somewhere else.
they're going to find it somewhere else. Now you got a broken heart because you didn't do your due diligence to learn this woman before you slid into a relationship with her, and that can create a whole lot of rough patches and whatnot too. So that's why I tell people, man, before you make a major decision of, you know, commit to the level to where y'all moving in with each other and you just giving her, you know, your 100% heart, get to know that woman. You feel what I'm saying? Get to know the intricacies of her mind, how she feel. Ask her, you know, queen, you know, when you're faced with, you know, a challenge in your relationship, how do you handle and navigate through hardships and challenges, and see how she respond. Ask her how's her relationship with her father, because 9 times out of 10, if she didn't have a relationship with her father, then she may not know how to respect or adhere to a man's not necessarily authority, because I don't want
Yeah.
women to feel subjugated, you know what I mean, but the
Mm-hmm. No,
influence
I hear you.
and the
Yeah.
advice of a man. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's definitely true because you never know. Like it goes down to, you know, if they have certain, like you said, certain different mental illnesses, or they have different traumas that you don't know about, and now you're getting mad at that person, like, hey, what the hell? You never told me you was like this. Like now they having an erratic outburst, and you're like, oh, I never seen this when we wasn't living together. Like, what's
Right.
going on here? Well,
Right.
you should have did
Right.
your due diligence and did your
Right.
homework on the person and really took your time to invest into that person to see their patterns and see how they act on a day to day.
Right. This is true. What you saying is it's the Bible truth, brother. You know what I mean? And this goes out to men and women. I don't want women to feel like we're trying to cater to the man. And this go for the man and women. Just do your
Nah,
due
it's
diligence
vice
before
versa.
you
It's for
commit.
both. It's for both parties.
Righteous. Righteous.
But now that's real, bro. Because that right there, that's a lot of game though for people too, bro. Because then you're really helping out different households and stuff like that. Because it all goes down to their mental. Like you said, she could cook for you, she could rub your feet, she could do all this stuff. The sex is good, all that other stuff. But if her mental's not right, come on now, bro. You know, now you're over here trying to figure out and piece together, okay, so how do I deal with this now? Because now I know that she has this now. So now I know, okay, what not to do. But okay, well, if I slip up, she's probably not going to really trip like that. But then boom, it's like, oh shit. So this is something that really is deep, you know, a deep emotion that she has, a trigger, if you call it, you know, she has certain triggers. You got to
Right.
understand people's triggers too.
Righteous. That's true. Hey, did the feed just go off on your end as well?
The feed went off. Nah, on my end,
Yeah, on
nah.
my end, both of the screens went off, and it was like a wheel in the middle, but it's back. You can hear me and see me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you and see you. I think it might have just been StreamYard be tripping sometimes, bro. I'm not gonna lie to
Gotcha.
you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's my fault though. I ain't trying to be on the unprofessional shit with my platform. I didn't know it did that.
No. You good. It may be my connection. Easy call.
No,
Shout out to you, brother.
yeah, man. Shout out to Easy Call, man. That's my boy, man. Shout out to Seattle, Washington, man. The house. Yeah, man. I seen y'all interview too, bro. That was a dope one. I checked that
Oh
out
man, I
earlier.
appreciate that, brother, man. You know what I mean? And him and I not officially knowing each other, but him asking me a key question, like, you know, when you have all this and all that going on, then why would you react to, you know, this type of, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Why would you? And I have to, you know, check myself, even though I've been kicking myself in my rear end, bro, for the last 2 or 3
Yeah.
days. You know what I mean? Because I know better. And it's like my uncle, you know, had shared with me many years ago. He say, look, Bob, man, yeah, man, if you go over there and do that, man, then you'll be in the wrong, because basically you're entertaining with a person that got the mind of a 12-year-old. You know better. So when we
Yeah.
know better, we got to do better. But it goes back to that temptation. And then it also goes to ego. You know what I mean? And us resolving conflicts in a certain fashion in the streets. But this is the blessed thing about it, brother. I'm not in the streets anymore. I don't have to, return conflict with that level of conflict. You feel what I'm saying? Like it made no sense. But I want to send a major shout out to everybody that has been holding me accountable, and shout out to Easy Call as well that asked me that magic question. Why would you respond to that?
That's what I was really just gonna go to next, bro. Was the fact that I see your platform very positive message, and you got somebody like, I'm not even gonna mention the name, but you know who we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Who kind of got under your skin enough for you to get out of character, bro? Because
Right.
it's very seldom that I see you get out of character with anybody. You're not the type of person to really go back and forth with anybody either. So that when I seen that, I was like, well, damn, it really must have been something very disrespectful that this person did or said that that got you to really get out of your character. Because like I said, I don't see you get out of character very often.
It was the audacity of that person of that caliber. Not trying to take this into a negative. We're gonna keep it professional, but on topic. I never been to a PC yard, Ken, folks. I never been in a sexual exchange or interaction with another man. I never been beat up in my set and ran off. As a grown man, I have never been chastised to where another grown man comes and spank me with a belt repeatedly and run me off the set. And I feel like, I feel like that individual was trying to take my kindness for weakness. I opened up my platform. I was somewhat of a therapist to this individual. I was somewhat of a father figure to this individual. Congratulating him, man. Man, I'm gonna give you flowers, man. I'm gonna sing your praises, man. What you're doing is right on. Continue to do it. God bless you. I was a type of person to where when this guy was going through, certain insecurities that pertains to his relationship and the infidelity of his wife, he'll call me and tell me about her sexual escapades when he was in prison and meeting another guy that was getting fellatios from his wife, this, that, and third. And I had to give him solid game. Bro, I never did anything that was dishonorable towards you, but for you to create this smear campaign and play with me as if you don't know what I am capable of, it was quite offensive. But this is the thing in life, to anybody that's listening, we don't have no control on how people engage us, but we do have control on how we react and how we respond. And the way that I responded to a person who I consider a degenerate, I give myself a F. I hold myself accountable and I kick myself on my rear end because I knew better. And when we know better, we are obligated to do better. So those type of interactions you will never see from me again. And that's word. I don't care what a person comes on here and say how egregious is the accusations, allegations, and all that. I'm not putting forth that type of energy no more, because I could have threw my life away, brother, because I was serious. And we're living in this age and this generation of what they call rage baiters. And now it's infecting the street where individuals want to get you to react with rage, and they sit back and laugh knowing that they really don't want to get into no gangster type situations. All they want to do is push buttons so that they can elevate their platform. So we got to be conscious of that and not allow ourselves to be moved by that. So for anybody to watch my content, man, my sincere apologies, man. You know what I mean?
That's real, bro, because you doing that right there, bro, just shows how much accountability you just took for that, bro, because it shows that you just took the bigger road. You took the high road. Yes, you stooped to the level of that individual, but you just sat there and correct your wrongs by taking the full accountability of like, yeah, I kicked myself in the rear end for it, bro. Like, I really was disgusted with myself for acting like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you don't get out of character for anybody.
Right. See, the thing about a fool don't change with age. It just gets older. So if we know that this person has the demeanor, the mind of a child, I'm not about to sit on here on the internet or in society and argue with nobody's child. That's a child. You know what I mean? So we got to treat a lot of these dudes in a fashion of, I'm not going to say it, I'm going to spell it out. We got to treat some of these dudes in the fashions of BITCHs. I'm not about to argue with a BITCH. And we got to treat some of these dudes in a fashion of underdeveloped boys. These are a lot of boys that we are dealing with, and the culture shows us how boyish their activities is. All you got to do is look at the streets. You got individuals that's throwing their lives away off of emotions. a temporary emotion got you ready to jump in this thing, get this chop, and go do something really, really bad to somebody and take yourself away from your kids. How much sense does that make? It's nonsensical. It makes no sense at all.
No sense at all. No sense at all. That's what it goes back to. What I was going to say too is with the emotions is you really can't lead or go off your emotions, because emotions are a hell of a thing. I've seen some people throw their whole life away, you know, free all those people that are really getting their life together in behind those walls, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
literally giving game to the younger homies that are going in and, you know, having them read books and teaching them trades and stuff like that. I like to see that, but that's because they didn't have the chance to do that for themselves, bro. So they see the younger generation coming in. They don't want them to do the mistakes that they did. You know what I'm saying? And what I'd have to say too, though, bro, and I hate the fact that there's this narrative that's like, oh, people that go to prison aren't as intelligent as people on the outside. That's bullshit. The people that go to prison or in jail are way more intelligent than people out here that have the freedom, bro. These people are smart, intelligent geniuses, bro, because they read so many books and they soaked up so much knowledge in there, and they changed the whole perspective as what they looked at before they went in and took that vacation and went behind those walls, bro. And instead of going out here and doing the same thing that they was doing before they went in, they came out here and changed the whole narrative and became more of a voice for the streets, more of somebody to, you know, help out the people that they see down at that time, so they don't have to go to those lengths of trapping or, you know, whatever it is to go back into them walls. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna basically they change the whole narrative around with the negative and put the positive message on it, and, you know, basically made it so it's like, nah, we're not glorifying this. The gang stuff is nothing to glorify. This is something that if you don't know what you're cut out, if you don't know what's cut out in this, don't sign up, bro, because this is not for everybody. I'm gonna say that right now. And I'm not telling anybody to join either. But what I'm saying is, if you do hop off the porch, if you do those things to get you into that predicament where now you are called on for certain things and you are a part of a community now, and now you're being looked at like, hey, you're a part of the community now. Now whatever you do is gonna look bad on us, type of thing. Just know it's not for the weak.
Right, most definitely. I mean, it's not for this current state of gang banging that we have been engaging in for the last 30 to 40 years. It's not even for humans. When we analyze and dissect the inception of gangs in the United States of America, they started with immigrants that were coming over here. The American-born Caucasians treated them indifferent. They discriminated against them. So the Irish and the Polish and the Jews, they say, you know what, we got to stop allowing them to come into our community, take our jobs and our resources, beat on our women, and talk disrespectfully to us and our elders. So they began to form gangs. And in response to that, other communities began to form gangs. But one thing that they began to do is leverage their membership. Or we got this amount of people that we can bring to come vote in, or we have this amount of people that can bring you over here, do this, do that. They begin to leverage their relationships with these politicians. See, in modern day Crippin' and Blood, we don't leverage our relationships. We don't leverage our numbers to do anything positive and productive. So I'd say to any kid, if you are desiring to join a gang, go to college. Go to school. And if you decide to go to college, you know what I mean? If you decide to go to college, join a fraternity. Get that security to when you graduate, you got a fraternity, you got a brotherhood that's going to make sure that you can excel.
You cut out a little bit. I think your screen's frozen. You can still hear me? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. My bad, y'all. Technical difficulties, man. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard right now. Excuse me. It might. Yeah, I can hear you, but your screen is frozen. It was frozen for a second.
It's still frozen?
Nah, now I can see it moving.
Yeah, but you know, if you want to join something, man, join something productive. I'm not even opposed to, you know, some of these youngsters even going to go join the police force, because we need proper representation in a police force that can make sure that we get the proper treatment in our communities. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
No,
it's
for sure.
other organizations and fraternities that you can join to ensure that you have an identity, that you have support, and that can ensure that you have the means to take care of a family and yourself.
No, that's real. That's real, bro. Like what you were saying when it came down to like the fraternities and stuff like that with the colleges. That's the brotherhood that you really need. That's the so-called gang that you really need behind you, because those are the people who are going to help you excel in life, succeed in different careers, different trades, whatever it may be. You know, basically those are the
Right.
people going to be always in your corner. And I hate to say it, that the facade is that the gang is always going to be your corner, but when you go down, you're going to see who's really there. And most of the time, it might be only 2 to 3 people. I can't really count on my hands like that. And so
Right.
that's the thing. It mostly be the people that were coercing you not to join the streets that are there for you still. Like, hey, you know, I know you messed up, but hey, let me help you get back on your feet. Let me help you get your life together, bro.
Right, right. I agree with you. The gangs participate in a thing called out of sight, out of mind over 70% of the time. If you ain't here thugging on a block with us, if you ain't right here up the street, then shit, we'll holler at you when you get back out here. You know what I mean? And that's an
That's it.
unfortunate situation, because when you enter into these type of commitments, it's supposed to be almost like a marriage. It's for better or worse. Then you get dudes that go down, and some of them go down for, you know, crimes that further to what they call the to the benefit of the gang. They come home, they got all these
Stripes. They
tattoos
got
on their
rank
neck,
now. They
their
got a rank
body,
now.
and all
Yeah.
this. Some of them do, some of them don't, because these youngsters aren't adhering to the G code that we was raised up under. These youngsters don't care about you chipping somebody in 1995. These youngsters don't care about you chipping somebody in 2005. These youngsters are more inclined to follow somebody that have the bag. They don't matter if you are an immoral person or what. If you got the bag, they gonna follow you because they're poverty stricken. And a lot of the male role models and a lot of the male influences in our household, they went to incarceration, or they were, you know, they was chipped, you know, they got took away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got dudes that come out of prison, man, got all these tattoos and all this, but you on a bus to go COPO. You in a halfway house because you don't got a place to go lay your head, but you just sacrificed for the gang. And then when you was in there, you was putting on for the gang. Anybody disrespect your set, disrespect your hood and all that, you was ready to do some violent to them. But now the hood has you know, practically turned this back on you. Why are you
On
on
you.
public transportation? Why you can't get a job and you at the GR office hoping to get the 180 in cash and the 221 in food stamps or whatever it is today? You feel what I'm saying? You don't even have a support system that can ensure that you don't fall a victim to the recidivism. That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
No, that's real. I mean, it should be really, it should be like, okay, whoever is while you down, right? Somebody that you under, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, somebody from out your section, out your community has a job for you. As soon as you get out, hey, I'm working this construction job, bro. I already plugged you in. I already put in the good word for you. All you need is this uniform. I bought you the boots. Boom, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Or, oh,
Right,
hey, don't even worry about a ride when you get out. I'm right there for you. I'm right there for you. I can
right,
pick you up. You ain't got
right,
to take the bus.
right. See, now that's real brotherhood. When I came out of Folsom State Prison in 2010, my friend that have become a family member to me, the individual that wrote the movie about my life called Imperial Dreams, he had a car for me. When I got out, man, he had this decent female for me, but he did what he could do to make my readjustment back into society as easy and as smooth as possible. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what homies is supposed to do for homies, especially if they're able to. But you know, the gangs have become so self-absorbed to us about me, 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 me. Some dudes go
It's
out
that
get money
ego.
just so they can, yeah, ego, just so they can stun on the homies. Like, what you want to stun on the homies for? Like that ain't that's not what we here for. We supposed to big up the homies and bring the homies up. Hey man, you know, like you were saying, I got this job opportunity over here. It's underwater welling. If you want to come get cracking, man, I could put in a good word, or we got this opportunity over here. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. At least have, you know, some type of, like you said, some type of way to help me adjust back into society so it's easier for me. So I'm not just right on the next step to go back in, because as soon as I
Right.
feel like, hey, ain't nobody want to help me, well, shit, I'm finna turn to the streets again. I'm finna go
Right.
rob somebody. I'm finna go sell this
Right.
work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the mindset though. That's the mindset. And this is the other thing too that I see a lot is I don't see, and I hate to say it, but I see more of the G homies, the ones that are kind of still off the Sherm and stuff like that. They don't like the younger homies at all, right? And so
Right.
even if the younger homie has a little bit more intelligence than them, right, and they're trying to give them some game, they're either going to be like, it's going to go one ear and not the other because I'm your elder. Why would I be listening to you? You know what I'm saying? But so, or it's going to be like, nah, you know what? I'm going to do something violent to you because you think you big shit now. Hey, come over here for a DP. I'm going to fuck you up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it wasn't called by anybody else. I'm over here putting the order in because I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? I never seen that shit before when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely changed a lot for sure, for sure.
Hey, they got this mantra. They got this saying that nobody can be bigger than a program. And a lot of people believe that that's the reason why rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle, why he met his untimely demise, because he had became bigger than a program. When you become bigger than a program, you have to leave the system, go elsewhere, and put down another program that you can invite the homies to. Listen, I got this going on over here. Come over here and be a part of this program to counter that counterproductive program. Nipsey had became bigger than a program, man. And he wanted to, whatever's his reason for having close ties to his community, but he made himself too accessible. When you have now officially excelled past the program and you're in a position to create a new program that's productive.
No, that part right there, and I don't know if you've seen, but there was a clip that I had seen, right, of them changing Crenshaw Boulevard over there to Nipsey Hussle Square, right? And it was Black Sam doing the whole event. And that was lovely. I love to see that. But there's a clip of them pressing Black Sam, like, hey, get out of the set. This is 60s. Like, this is 6-0 right here. Like, change that sign. Get that shit out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nip didn't do shit for the set. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. And they really said. And they was pressing Black Sam. It was a bunch of females pressing the female that Black Sam was with, and then a bunch of homies from 6-0 that was going up to Black Sam and really pressing him. And he had his security right there with him. And Black Sam was like, come on, man, this is for my brother, bro. This is a special day for my brother. Can we do this another time? Like, literally, you hear him saying that. And I was like, I don't like to see that shit, bro.
Man, that's profound right there, brother. That's crazy. I mean, but it's always a warning before destruction. He got to make himself less accessible. You can't be that visible. And then when you do be visible, take the necessary measures to keep security around you to, prevent any unfortunate things from, transpiring, man. You know what I mean? It's just like in the Bible where they say that in my own land, I am not accepted, but in other places I'm accepted. You feel what I'm saying? It says a prophet is not accepted amongst his own land and his people. But when you go out, there's other people that loves you and rock with you. You got to understand, sometimes your success can trigger people and make them realize how much of a failure they are. We got the same 24 hours in a day. We come from the same circumstances and situations, but you chose to do nothing with your life. But I'm excelling. And then people look at Black Sam, Nipsey Hussle, and other individuals in the community and like, damn, man, that nigga got a Bentley. Man, I remember he was in that Cutlass he was rapping about. And then they look at themselves and they still on a bus. You don't think they ain't gonna feel some type of way about that? Because they don't know how to take the initiative and go out there and improve their quality of life. You can make people feel real insignificant, but it's not necessarily you. You're doing what you're supposed to do. But sometimes we got to understand, man, we outgrow certain environments, people, and situations. And we got to know when to stay and when to go, man.
No, that's real. That's real, bro. Like, I feel like when it comes down to that, it's really just like you said, just keeping your stuff secure, like you said, and not always being seen so visible because, he's the face of the whole brand. So, but he don't really have to be there. He has a whole team under him that could have been there, but I'm sure he wanted to be there just for that, hustle spirit, for him to be there for him to feel that emotional moment right there, it was a big moment for him. But like you said, bro, and I see it all the time. It's like, okay, I can tell you, hey, look, bro, tapping with my boss. He got a job for you. And now 3 weeks went by. You see me doing great for myself. I'm over here succeeding. I'm in a brand new car. Now you coming up to me like, hey, what, bro, why'd you put me on? Bro, I told you all you had to do was do this application. All you had to do was hit up my boss. He had a whole spot for you. You know what I'm saying? Right. But instead of them going forth and putting the work in and actually taking the dedication to sit down and actually going through with what, I'm trying to help them out with, they would rather just get it handed to them, or, you know, go get it out the streets. Nah, you know, nah, that's too slow, bro. You doing solar, that's too slow. You said you get paid every other 2 weeks. Well, I get paid every day. If I'm selling this work, I could just hang on the corner all day selling this work. But I'm like, well, yeah, you could do that, but it's more of a risk, bro. I'm taking the risk out for you and putting you into an actual career, not a day job. This is a career for you, you know? So,
I mean, that's a situation that's more promising towards the growth and the potential development of a family, because now you got check stubs and all this. You can prove your income, and then you can start building credit. You know what I mean? You can go use that California first time homeowner program and get you a house.
Your first house.
Get you your first house, man. Get your kids up out of that community that's not conducive with the, you know, growth of the 100% of the people, the population. You feel what I'm saying? There's growth in our communities, but 100% of the population don't grow. It's always that minority, that 5% and below, that actually makes some form of progress and whatnot. But now you can take your kids and move them into a community to where the graduation rate is astronomical. You feel what I'm saying?
No, that's real, bro. Because then, like you said, they don't even have to even be around any of that. So they don't even know nothing about that. I mean, of course, there's a lot of kids that get influenced by schools nowadays, though, too, though I hate to say it, because, right, say the kid might be, hate to say a square, but somebody that's not really in the streets like that, or really even hanging around any people affiliated, right? But then they go to high school and they join a clique, right? And then that clique is conducive or transpires over to the actual set, right? They're tied in. So now this is a person that's never been around any of this, never had no family influence, cousins, nothing like that, right? Now they're jumping into something they know nothing about, right? But they didn't get that from being around in that environment. They went to school and learned that.
In most cases, when you take your kids up out of the hood and they haven't been introduced to those hood elements, and they can, you know, go all the way to high school without joining a gang and being this, that, and third, they really don't have no desire to, especially if you don't give them idle time. Some of these kids is too influenced by the internet, and it's too much idle time. I grew up directly across the street with James Harden from I think he played for Detroit now. Is it Detroit? No, he played for the Cavaliers. He on the Cavaliers now.
Cavaliers. He plays the Cavaliers.
His mama didn't leave no room for error. Miss Munya made sure he was playing soccer, baseball, basketball. This brother didn't have no idle time to even consider joining the game. But it was a different era then. It was a different era then. Now we have technology that can basically bring, you know, Vernon Avenue and Crenshaw to your living room. You feel what I'm saying? But in the Bible, it says, teach a kid the way that they should go, and when they get older, they shall not part. So if you are able to get your kids to high school without them embracing gangbang elements, 9 times out of 10, when they get into high school, they're not going to embrace it, because they're going to look at it as being barbaric. What? Y'all going to fight to do what? Oh, no, man, I ain't doing that. My daddy about to go give me a 750 BMW. I'm about to graduate. Or man, I can't deal with that savagery. You feel what I'm saying? But when you raise the kids in it and they become accustomed to it, then they're seeing and observing, and then you watch
it's a product of your environment, bro. You're a product of your environment.
That's why we got to move our babies up out of them environments.
No, that's real, bro. That's real. Because what you just said is the realest shit too. Because, say, for instance, like, they're looking at it like, they're disgusted by it. Oh, this is a second world to them. They don't even look at it like they're like, oh, you want to fight somebody for this and this? Oh, no, I'm over here. I got 2 jobs. I got this BMW. I'm finna go to college in a week. I got the dorm already set up. You know, I'm on the bigger things. I'm not even worried about that. I'm not finna waste my time or stoop to that level of I hate to say it, just a negative behavior, bro, because it's all about behaviors too. And what you soak up from somebody is what you watch from them, because you know how say for instance, right, not to say like, but this is an example, right? Say for instance, your son sees you and your wife getting into it. Now you push her, right? He sees, he thinks that's okay now, because he's going to reenact that with his woman, right? So
that's correct.
It's what you see is what you're going to, you know what I'm saying? What you're gonna mimic, it's what you're gonna imitate. There you go. That was the word. My bad, bro. I was trying to think of the word.
No, that's absolutely correct, man. That's why we got to create a different narrative. We got to reclaim our agency, our power, and move our kids into an environment that's conducive to their growth. And that's just is what it is. You know, we love the hood, but look at all that the hood has taken from us. It's time to go out and do something different. We got to come anew. You feel what I'm saying? Especially for the sake of these kids, because once you start having babies, you ain't living for what drives you, you know what I mean, and
You
moves and
living for them
motivates
now.
you.
You living
You
for
living
them
for
now.
them kids and what's in the best interest of them babies. Like,
No, that's it, because it's like you can't be, and that's why I hate to see is you can't be that selfish person anymore where you just putting everything, oh, I got to make sure myself is right first. I got to make sure I get this for me. No, no, no. You got 3 kids now, bro. You got to make sure you got formula. You got to make sure you got this. Everything's expensive now. Diapers, come on now, bro. You know what I'm saying? So now you got a whole job now, bro. You got to make sure you have a job. If you not,
right,
and I hope you're not getting in the streets anymore, because that's a risk for your children too. You might not
right,
see them again. So I
right,
hope that you really take that and it makes you change completely. Your whole perspective on everything is just, okay, it's all for my family now, bro. I ain't got to
right,
worry about myself. You know, I could put myself second, or put myself last. My
right.
kids are first at the end of the day.
And that's what it is. Your paramount responsibilities becomes the wants, the needs, and the desires of those babies. Like, ain't no other way around it. You feel what I'm saying? But that's what really separate men from mouse. That's what separate men from boys, on how willing you are and devoted and dedicated you are to taking care of your parental responsibilities.
No, that's real. That's real, bro. That's how you really. I feel like that's really when you become a man, bro. Like fully,
Right,
because then now you
right,
have this responsibility of another life. Yeah, you might have
right,
had a wife before, a girlfriend that you had to take care of, but this is different now. This is somebody that you got to watch grow, make sure they develop correctly, make sure that they don't have to go through any of the heartache that you went through. Of course, they're gonna go through everything. Everybody's gonna go through something in their life, you know. But I'm saying
right.
not as much as you had to go through.
Righteous, righteous. I agree with you. That's 100% correct.
And I really like the way that you know that you're very articulate, bro. Like your
Thank you.
words are very, you know what I'm saying? Like you're painting a picture with your words, bro. You
Thank you.
use a lot
Thank
of
you.
metaphors. I don't know if you didn't think that I caught them, but I caught a lot of them, bro. And
Yes,
you
sir.
you you really know how to conduct yourself very professionally, bro. You're very PR trained, bro. Like this is a dope interview, bro. I really appreciate your time,
Hey
fam. Like
man, I appreciate this, man. Hey, listen, homie. Hey, I'm family now. You know what I mean? Anytime you want to get an interview or review or whatever you want to do, man, whatever we can come together and do, and it's positive and it can be inspirational or positive entertainment to the people, man. Let's get cracking. Let's just do it. You know what I mean?
no, that's real, bro. Because I feel like if there was more people like us, and shout out to my boy Easy, he's as well as a father with a lot of kids, and he makes sure that he puts everything for his kids. But there's more
Right,
people like us that can help the younger homies really realize, hey, this ain't the life for you, bro. Do it for your family. Go to school, learn a trade, get into a career. You know, make sure that everything's set for your mom, your
right,
kids, anybody in your family. They never have to want again. You know, stuff like that. Like that's really the bigger picture, bro. That's what we
right,
really need to promote. Not all this, oh, let's
right,
go back and forth on Instagram. Let's go back and forth on YouTube. Oh, use a sucker. Oh, I'm gonna drop the low. Oh, I'm pulling up
right,
on my ops now, bro. That's not,
right.
no, bro. That's
Yeah, that ain't
nonsense.
it.
That's
Righteous.
nonsense, bro.
Right.
That's not the narrative or the message that we need to be pushing, bro. For all the
Especially not to
podcasters
these
and
kids.
YouTubers. Go ahead, bro. I ain't trying to cut you off.
No, I was agreeing with you, especially not to these kids.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's strictly for these kids and for the youth, bro, because that's the ones that are being influenced by it like this. Like you
Right,
said,
right,
Vernon Avenue, the Crenshaw district, the Compton district, the Watts district, Bounty Hunters, PJs, all this is in their living room now because of
right,
what people like Adam 22 that wants to,
right,
sit here and exploit the culture and make the kids more want to go in the streets. Oh yeah, this is cool. I want to glorify this.
right, right, right,
Come
right.
on now, bro.
Yes, the
Like this,
over
it's just sad,
glamorous.
bro. It's sad to
Yeah, it
watch.
is. It is. It is, man. But like-minded individuals like myself, you, and a few other individuals, we got to create an alternative to this madness. You feel what I'm saying? But it's unfortunate, but we got to have some type of bag attached to it because a lot of that's the targeted demographic for what's going on. Excuse me, 1 minute.
Go ahead.
No.
And that wood's still going, Katie? Here, let me pass that to my wife, bro. I forgot to pass it to her. Oh, it's good.
Hello.
Could be done right now, but all right.
My apologies, Kim, folks.
Nah, you good, bro. Eric, hey, bro, we have lives other than this YouTube space, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's real, bro. You know, I ain't going, stop anything that you have going on personally or anything like that, bro. That's bigger than this. You know what I'm saying? That's more serious, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But what I wanted to tell you was real quick before we go, if you ever wanted to elevate your platform, bro, I could more to another level. I could lock you in with my people called TV Startup. What they do is they set you up your own TV channel on all Roku platforms, all Android platforms, all Apple TV platforms, and then you could go live on 30 different destinations at the same time on their network, right? So what it is, instead of YouTube with the monetization on how they pay you for the views and stuff like that, right? Instead of that, they pay you for the subscribers, and then you set up members only videos for a higher price than YouTube lets you. So like you can set up a members only interview. Say you do an interview with somebody, right? And you don't want the people to see it yet, everybody to see it yet. You could do it for a couple chosen few, could pay $60 to $80 up to $100 to watch those members only videos. They set everything up in your files like playlists. So your interviews would go here, your reaction videos would go here, anything else would go down to the bottom. Basically what it is just basically just getting you more out there because you could be on, everybody's TV. Everybody has a Roku TV at home right now, or a Fire Stick, or they have Apple TV at home, so, you'll be right there when they turn on their TV. They can click on it and check you out, as well as check you out and be like, oh, well, he has a YouTube page too as well. We're going to check that out. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about it's just trying to get you more networked out there, and so I did it, and it's cool because like I said, it's not like YouTube where they take your earnings. Basically, what you're doing is you're paying like a flat rate a month for them to keep your channel up on all platforms. So what it is all your earnings, you don't have to give them anything like that. Everything goes straight to you, to your PayPal or your bank account, whatever you set up. So, but what it is, instead of, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say most definitely. Let's discuss this further once we get off the thinning and we can get a little deeper into it.
Okay, no, for sure. And I don't know if you know who Drea the Virgo is?
I'm familiar with it. Yes, sir.
Okay, would you ever be willing to work with her? Because that's who I work with right now, and she's definitely doing a lot of good things for me. And she works with a lot of different people too, like ODM Slim, Spotty Face, Munchie B, Young and Hefe, just to name a few. Gangland Meme, a couple of different others.
I'm not opposed to it, but I mean, we can explore that option and see what's the dinner with that. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not opposed to it. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Just because what it is like basically what it is she just, does a call with you, basically looking at your YouTube studio and sees exactly what the plan and goal you have for yourself, and then she just, works with you off of that. And then, other stuff you can, you talk to her about it later on, and try to lock something in. But it's not like she forces you to do anything or she charges you right away to like, you have to do this. It's just, it's just an opportunity if you want to explore it.
Righteous. Most definitely. Let's discuss it further whenever you get the the leisure too. But say, man, hey, man, I gotta run and get this Benanag, man.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Bringing me on, man. To all the people out there, man, y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to my partner platform. After you do that, go over to Bobby A Imperial Vision, like, subscribe, comment right there, and then go to my second page, which is in the think tank with Bobby Ye, man, and support, man. Y'all support is greatly appreciated. My amazing brother, thank you for having me on. Please hit me anytime, man. We family, we locked in, man.
No, for sure, bro. You have a blessed one, bro. You have blessed with it. I'm gonna clip it up too and send you all the clips as well.
And I appreciate that. One love, family. Thank you.
All right, bro. Yup. Peace.